Hello everyone! I'm so excited to be a part of this year's Urban Influencers Conference. I know that you guys are going to have an amazing time. I hope you enjoyed Courtney's session, which was just fire. I'm Trésor and I'm coming to you fresh out of Malawi. I love poetry and I love Jesus, so I'm going to share those two things with you guys today. I'm going to do 4 pieces, and my first one is titled The S in Front of is He, and it basically just addresses gender equality and femininity and womanhood, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Here's the S in front of his He. Mama, I decided to write to you to let you know how I've risen above the teachings you taught me to master my cooking skills and always dress pretty so that one day a wealthy man will notice me. I often wish the grave clothes would loose their hold on you and God would breathe his breath of life again in you so that you could see what I and many other women have become. Unafraid to emanate the light we have within and not just be a shadow of the men we're told to lead. My. You'd be amazed at how the expectation of women is slowly changing. In your day, they told you womanhood was defined by how well you can cook, how well you can please your husband, and how many babies you can give him. In mine, we've chosen not to let the presence of an FE in front of our male determine how loud we can speak in conversation before we hold ourselves back in fear of being told that women are supposed to be soft-spoken and graceful. Mama, I know I can never bring you back, but in honor of you, I've chosen to become a part of those who are rewriting history. I pray to God every day that he'll grant me both a male and a female child so that I'll teach my daughter, first and foremost, to dream that the sky is definitely not the limit and that marriage is not the ultimate goal of her existence. But that if she does choose to become one with another, submission is expected of her, but submission does not look like oppression. And my son, I'll teach him to dream too. I'll teach him to respect everyone around him, and I'll teach him never to think the absence of an S in front of his he makes him superior to any she. So my second piece is titled Bloody Beautiful Love Story, and it's really just a praise poem where I'm just talking about my awe and my absolute amazement about who Jesus is and who his word is and just how much I love him and just the journey, the day-to-day journey of walking with Jesus and just how amazing that is. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Wait, didn't you say in the beginning you created the heavens and the earth? So how is it that in the beginning was the Word and in the beginning you created? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning you created heaven and earth. So the beginning is really all about you. You who exist as 3 and yet 1. You who was willing to let go of hearing never-ending praise of your name to come down and be housed by the dust you breathed life into to give you life. You left heavenly glory, heavenly bodies whose lips never stop telling how holy, how great, how awesome you are, to come down and be told you are but only a carpenter's son. What manner of humility is this? What manner of man is this? Manna, bread, you rained from heaven to feed your people, and then you say, man shall not live by bread alone. I'm perplexed by your complexity, convinced this human mind cannot contain the majesty of this deity. So all my days I pledge to proclaim, O hail, King of the Jews. Not only will I bow down and lay down these branches of palm for you, O King, mounted on a donkey to ride on, I will bow down and lay down my life. For you bow down and lay down your life for me. I will tell of the man who waited 400 years to shed his blood to redeem the mess of the one he calls his own. What manner of love is this? that lavishes the prostitute and calls her his bride. I'm perplexed by your complexity, convinced this human mind cannot contain the majesty of this deity. So, day by day, I stand at the altar and place my hands in yours, and day by day I feel the holes of the nails they drilled into your palms that remind me a true king will kill his flesh and rise to make intercession as a true proclamation of his love. I will tell of the man who was crowned with thorns to crown his bride with glory and honor and righteousness. This is a bloody, beautiful love story. And so I've discovered my words exist as a canvas to paint the word that was there in the beginning. My next piece is completely opposite from the one that I just did. It's a hard piece, to be honest, because I wrote it in a hard space where I was just hurt and broken and disappointed and just couldn't understand why God had done things the way he had done them. It talks about spending time praying and believing and trusting that God will work things a certain way, and then it doesn't turn out that way. I know that a lot of us can probably relate to this, moments where you've been hurt and broken and you just don't understand. But I hope that by the end of this piece you will be encouraged that God is still good, and that even when things don't happen the way we expect them, he is still good. O Savior of souls, would you come quickly and save my soul? Death is the wages of sin, that's what you say. So tell me, what sins am I paying for? Because I feel like I'm dying. For days I've been drowning in this pool of my tears. I cannot fix my eyes on you. How dare you ask, author of my faith? Yes, I believed in you. Spent hours stringing words, stringing friends along in prayer. I trusted that if I ask, you will give. So why have you taken God? Why did you allow my heart to feel whole with eager expectation, anticipating the appointed hour, boldly announcing and proclaiming the goodness of my God, the faithful God, the one who will not let his children be put to shame? Is this a game you play, O Sovereign King? Does heaven have musical chairs dancing around our hearts while laughing at humanity's gullibility? Why would you allow the enemy to have his way with Job? He was blameless. Why do you allow Joseph to have a dream, an expectation to rule, and then he gets thrown into prison? Why does David spend days denying himself and crying out to you, O Lord, and yet you spare not his son? Why would you let your son, your only son, stand naked, beaten, bruised? How do you put to death the one you call your beloved, the one in whom you are well pleased? Is my understanding of love warped? When you said you love me, I heard all things will be well with me. I imagined happy days, bouncing through life with joy bubbling in my soul, smiles and shrieks of exclamation as I give my explanation of you, lover of my soul, whose promises for me are yea. I will have to spend days reciting Romans 8:28 until I have no doubt in my mind that this word is true. I do not know the path of the wind or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so I cannot understand your work, O God, maker of all things. I will never have answers to all the whys. I will never understand why you choose to keep this thorn in my flesh. But every time I find myself drowning, every time I feel like I'm dying, I will remind myself that in 3 days I will rise again. With the power of the one who raised Jesus from the grave rushing through my veins, I will rise again. So my final piece is a piece that you might be familiar with. It's a piece that is really just the heart of God calling out to us when we are lost. The voice of God calling out to Adam when he had sinned and strayed far from the heart of God. And it's really just my prayer that as I do this piece, you would hear the voice of God calling out to you and that you would find yourself back in the arms of the Father. Where are you? Adam, where are you? What have you done, son? Don't blame it on the woman I gave you, because when there was no bush of the field yet in the land, and no small plant of the field had yet sprung up, I formed you. In my own image I created you. From the dust I breathed the breath of life in you. I gave you dominion over every living thing, including the tree I commanded you not to eat from. Even the very serpent who came to tempt you, I gave you dominion, rulership, authority, power over every living thing. But now, look where we stand. In eating of the forbidden fruit, you gave over that authority. You've killed yourself, my son, cut the line of fellowship, broken the cords of intimacy I had with you before you knew no sin. You were naked and unashamed. Look, those fig trees you've sewn together to cover yourselves up will die on you. They need water to survive. So, here, I'll clothe you in garments of skin. I love you, and perfect love covers a multitude of sins. I love you, and love does not rejoice at wrongdoing, so Eden can no longer be your place of residence. You will have to sweat to eat your bread. Where are you? I see you trying to cover up your nakedness from one man to the next, one pregnancy to the next. The unborn babies whose lives you've taken are crying out to me. Where are you? I see you. From one bottle to the next, the stench of your liquor-filled breath clouds its way up to heaven's gates. Where are you? I see you. Hours on end looking on at men and women in bed. Your eyes are swollen. Can't you see? You will never be satisfied. These fig leaves will die. The only perfect atonement for sin is perfect and spotless. It's me. So I sent myself in the form of my son Jesus to bear your sin, your iniquity, Jesus. To cover up your pain, your shame, he came, Jesus. Walked and lived and breathed amongst men, Jesus. Mocked and scorned and beaten and spat on, Jesus. One who had always been one in connection with the Father and the Spirit cried, my Father, where are you? Why have you forsaken me? Forsaken you? I have never left. I'll never leave. I've been watching you, waiting on you to call my name, Jesus. I hold the keys to life and death, and I have an eternity, and I want to spend eternity with you. Just call my name, Jesus. You have not strayed too far, my child, like the prodigal son. I know you've been in the deepest, darkest, loneliest places, but I'm waiting for you to come home, my son. And when I see you coming from a mile away, I will prepare a homecoming party, a celebration, a glorious jubilee. I will dance over you, my son. Just call my name, Jesus. So that was my set. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely have been so humbled and grateful to be here with you guys today, and I know the rest of the day is just going to be super amazing. We've got an amazing lineup of speakers and artists from all over. You guys are going to have yourselves a blast. So don't go anywhere. Sipokazi Jonas is about to drop it like it's hot.